Hello, Databricks fans! My name is Jiří, and today I'd like to show you our automation and governance solution for SAP to Databricks data ingestion with Azure DataFactory. First, let's see what a manual setup of a new data pipeline looks like. Now I switch to Azure DataFactory, where I prepared a data flow for ingesting the currency conversion data from SAP S4 to the data lake, to the Delta format. I'll click to the source to see that we have this ODB context set to ABAP CDS, and now I need to find the ticker table or associated CDS view, which can be used to extract the data from SAP. Here you can see the CDS view, so I'll choose it. Now I would like to set the incremental data load, so I need to set the key columns as well. I'll click refresh to reload the key columns from SAP. It might take a few seconds, so in the meantime, let's look into the sink. As I already mentioned, the sink is a delta table. Currently, I've only defined that the update method should allow inserts, but as we will be working with the incremental data load, we need the upserts as well. So I'll choose upserts, and once you choose upserts, there is this new set of options to define the key columns here as well. So you basically need to define the key columns twice, in the source and also in the sink. So in the sink, the main reason is for the delta merge to work correctly when processing newly updated records. So let's get back to the source, and we can see that the 4 key columns are already here. So now I need to manually copy and paste them to the sink. The first one, the second one, and vice versa, and so on, right? I won't be doing everything, but you can see it's a quite intensive process, manually intensive process, and it would be great if we can automate it. So we set up the first pipeline. We can now run it, and it will ingest all the currency conversions data into the data lake. But what if we have 10 of tables? What if we have 50 tables? I wouldn't recommend you creating 50 data flows, one per each table, because organizing and managing such solution might be a nightmare. Fortunately, DataFactory has an option for us, so I'll switch to this ingest tables demo, where I have this for each, which reads a config from a blob storage using this lookup, and iterate through the config and ingest one table after another based on the configuration. We have the configuration here, so you can see that this is a sample JSON. You have the ODP context as we saw in the previous video, previous example. We have the ODP name, and we have the key columns here as well, and so on. So how can we manually define this configuration file? There are multiple challenges here. The first thing is for each CDS view, you not only need to define the name of the CDS view, but you also need to define its category, which is abbreviated using this $ and one letter sign. So for this is like an other type of CDS view, but we can have text, which is the $T, and we can have facts CDS view, which is $F. So you really need to manually look up the type of the CDS view to be put it here, which is also quite quite annoying, right? And the other part of the story is defining the columns. So each table has some primary key columns for both the incremental data load and the delta merge to work properly. So you really need to manually define the columns. Some tables, you can see here that this table has more than 8, it's 9 primary key columns. You need to define all of them manually. It's quite an intensive work, so that's why we really implemented a better solution how to generate this extensive Azure DataFactory configuration from Databricks. So we have another type of config which is much simpler, as you can see, right? You only have the name of the source and the ODP context by which the source, the data are ingested. And yeah, for each new data source, you only have two rows. You don't need to look up any type of the CDS views. You don't need to define the keys, nothing like that. And we have a script in Databricks which basically transforms this YAML configuration, this simplified YAML configuration, into the DataFactory compatible JSON configuration. You can see that I ran this cell with the code, which took the YAML configuration and generated the Azure DataFactory JSON configuration, which contains the correct suffix for the ODP name and also the key columns. So this is how we really automate our data ingestion activities when working with SAP data. Feel free to contact us if you're interested in understanding more about our SAP accelerator. Happy to listen to us. Happy to listen from you guys. See you.